that if you do go the charter city route, you would be required still to pay prevailing wage. So we're not here to speak for or against the adoption of a charter city. We just want to make clear that the flexibility that you seek to gain from having a charter, if part of that flexibility is the flexibility to avoid paying prevailing wage, we don't believe that you will be able to enjoy that flexibility. And in fact, it runs some serious risks for the council, because if you award a contract to a contractor that does not pay prevailing wage, one of the things that our law firm does, and there are many law firms that do, is sues contractors for failure to pay prevailing wage. Now, if a court finds that contractor should have paid prevailing wage, that a prevailing wage applies to that job, and they were awarded that bid without being told that it was prevailing wage, under Section 1781 of the Labor Code, that contractor can turn around and sue the city and recoup its losses. So rather than gaining flexibility, what you risk is creating greater uncertainty for the council, greater uncertainty for the contractors that do business with the city, and greater liability for the city and the contractors. And that might actually impede the willingness of some contractors to bid jobs in the city if they're going to be faced with possible litigation. So we would encourage you to not go forward with a city charter unless there is clear in the document that you will be following state prevailing wage. If there's any questions, we're available either to answer questions from the council now or at any point thereafter. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Archuleta. Okay, next speakers in order will be Mr. Ryan Mims from El Centro, Mr. Eddie Barnes, Mr. Johnny Pride from Calexico, Mr. Sterling Mays, El Centro, and Mr. Daniel Machin. Okay.
Hello, honorable council members. My name is Ryan Mims. I'm with the Imperial County Labor Council. I'm here today representing the 10,000 union members that live and reside in Imperial County. For just a point of clarification, I live at the building trades office where I work out when I'm here. That's the address. I'm actually from Lakeside, just to have that out. I wanted to speak actually about the whole idea of a charter city. I really commend the efforts that the city council has put into this, especially the task force. And when I came here tonight, we were looking at multiple things that you were talking about with the charter city. You were looking at council seats. You were looking at even number of election years. You were looking at a different mayoral process. And you were looking at prevailing wages. At this point in time, it appears that the only thing left regarding the charter city is whether or not to deny the workers of El Centro and Imperial County the right to a prevailing wage. The other issues have either been rejected or postponed for an additional 5 years. And I would encourage people not to remove prevailing wages from workers in Imperial County and in El Centro during a time when the workers need those wages the most. Contractors are going to bid the way they bid, and it's not going to come off of their backs, it's going to come off the back of the workers. In the end, you're going to get what you paid for. I believe that was mentioned earlier. And what you're going to get is you're going to get low-wage workers performing poorly on the jobs that you have. Thank you very much. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Eddie Barnes. Mr. Barnes, if you could state your address for the record.
My name is Eddie Barnes. I'm Southern Regional Director of the State Building and Construction Trades Council of California. I'm in Beach, California. That's also the residence that I work out. In the state organization, we represent 350,000 building trades union members. We're here tonight, and if you notice, there was quite a few as far as opposition. I want to commend the city as well as the task force for their diligence in looking at the information I'm sure they received. I brought you some more information. At the task force meeting, I don't know whether the council has been able to see the information I already brought to you, as well as the background for prevailing wage in the documents. I want to mention in regards to that the one that you're looking at now is the benefits of public agencies utilizing project agreements for public works. I think it's foregone conclusion that prevailing wage is outstandingly something that needs to be stayed into your charter should you go forward. And that's right now where the main opposition is at in regards to your charter city. And that would cover all the public works that's taken care of. You have some service members that came here. The building trades have the helmets to hard hats, which invokes helmets to hard. I don't know if you've ever heard of that organization or not, but all the returning people from Iraq, our service members, have that opportunity to come into a trade for a career and are introduced to that. We would suggest that you look at that and putting that into your charter as part of the requirements. The document that I gave to you today comes from Los Angeles for the LA Unified School District Project Stabilization Agreement. That agreement in itself was implemented in 1993. Since that time, the majority of the workers came in ahead of schedule below budget. I listened to Council Member Edney in regards to the items as far as the rework and the change orders and those type of things that come about. When you don't have in your charter where you have a preview of lowest responsible bidders, as you would like to change with your charter so that you can make that assumption. I'm also the Senate's appointment on the Contractor State License Board. That's one of the biggest primary things that we have right now is the underground economy that's out there. It's $4 billion for this state. It's a huge concern. That's those that are coming in here. The contractors are working unscrupulously within the entire industry. We can attack that by when you have a project stabilization agreement to go along with your charter to make that more valuable to your constituents within El Centro. I'd like to mention too the Chamber of Commerce is up here to definitely look at it, because in the LA Unified School District Stabilization Agreement that I gave to you, they have a small business in their compliance group. They also have the We Build program, and that's what it's called, We Build, which works with the local community. I don't know if any of you know Ben Martinez, which is your ROP teacher in El Centro. He has been working with us. And this is another avenue for you to sit there and put your kids that are coming through that ROP an opportunity to go into the trades. Because, as mentioned before, they have to have a very high education level. Algebra, math, they have to graduate. I don't know if you know this or not, but across the state, 30% are leaving in 10th grade. In the inner city, it's 50 to 60% for leaving in 10th grade. It's important to create prevailing wage, to have project stabilization agreements which would address all the facts that you're talking about, to making sure you have responsible contractors, that you're using a local workforce, because in this project stabilization agreement, you have to have 30% local workforce to man your work that's done in the community. On top of that, I'll give you a for instance, before the City of Los Angeles, because you also received a document, local hire in the City of Los Angeles, I gave that to the task force to be given to the board members. In that local hire, what they've generated is $22 million back into their community. There's been over 3,000 of their community that has gone to work on their project. Of that, 1,850 have been apprentices. So this gives the young people in the community the opportunity to have a career. We'd like to say it. I'm 40 years as a steam fitter, pipe fitter. I got 40 years in the trade. I raised 6 kids with health care and a pension. When you don't have these type of things that are put into your charter city menu, with prevailing wage, local hire, best view of your contractors, you're taking the opportunity to bring people from out of state. The City of Los Angeles, before they had this built, City Hall, 27% of those workers in City Hall came from San Diego. 15% came from Santa Barbara and other areas, as well as outside the state. Only 2% were from that city. Our recommendation to state building trades is, one, prevailing wage, and also research project stabilization agreements so that you're taking care of the constituents that you represent, and that's the young people as well as those that might be older, because our average age of our apprentice anymore is 28 to 31 because of the education level. Should you need anything more from me, I'm available. I put my card in there, as well as if you would like to talk to the We Build people, Manny Perez from the City of Los Angeles. We put an X on the opposed because we didn't know the language that you're looking to implement. We didn't know that type of opposition. Should you decide to go with prevailing wage and look at a project stabilization agreement, I don't think you have any problem here with any